When Jungkook of BTS first revealed his tattoos, the world stopped for a moment. The youngest member of the world's biggest boy band, long known for his angelic visuals and spotless skin, broke away from the expected idol image to show the world a new version of himself, raw, expressive, and unapologetically real. Over time, what began as a few simple ink markings on his hand evolved into a breathtaking full-sleeve masterpiece stretching from his wrist to his shoulder. Now, his tattoos are not just an artistic display. They've become a timeline of transformation, a living canvas reflecting his personal journey from a shy teenager to a self-assured global artist who owns his story. The early days. Hints of rebellion. When Jungkook debuted at just 15 years old, fans fell in love with his innocence. Known as the Golden Magne, he was the perfect image of youth, talented, disciplined, and modest. But even in those early days, there were hints that Jungkook had a deeper, more introspective side. Behind the scenes, he was fascinated by art, sketching, and tattoos. In several interviews, he mentioned his admiration for body art, though at the time, it seemed like just a passing interest. Few expected that years later, he would turn that fascination into a defining aspect of his identity. When BTS began gaining massive global fame, Jungkook faced the pressure of maintaining the perfect idol image. Tattoos were still controversial in South Korea, often associated with rebellion or social stigma. Yet, Jungkook, always one to follow his heart, eventually decided to express himself through ink. Despite the judgment that might follow, the first reveal, the hand tattoo that shocked ARM with a moment that changed everything, came in 2019. During BTS's airport appearances, eagle-eyed fans noticed faint black markings on Jungkook's right hand. What seemed like doodles at first soon became a viral mystery. When clearer photos surfaced, ARMYs realized it was a tattoo, complete with the letters ARMY, a crown, and other meaningful symbols. The internet exploded. Discussions, theories, and emotions flooded every corner of social media. Was it real? Temporary? A statement? The speculation didn't stop until Jungkook confirmed it himself during live broadcasts. Each mark carried significance. ARMY was his tribute to the fans who stood by BTS from day one. That the purple heart symbolized the "I Purple You" message coined by V, representing love and trust between BTS and ARMY. The J and K initials were personal, a signature of identity. The crown symbolized victory and pride, while smileys and cross symbols hinted at positivity and protection. For many fans, the tattoo was more than art. It was proof of Jungkook's loyalty and love. He didn't just wear his dedication to ARMY. He inked it permanently onto his skin, from wrist to forearm. The growth of a personal story. As months passed, Jungkook's tattoos began to expand. His forearm, once bare, became a canvas for intricate designs that intertwined with one another, each one layered with meaning. Observers noted how each addition seemed to coincide with major moments in his life. After the Map of the Soul era, a time defined by introspection, self-love, and personal struggle, Jungkook's ink evolved too. More designs appeared: a clock with no hands, a tiger lily, an eye, and abstract geometric patterns. Fans began to connect the dots, literally and figuratively. The clock without hands was seen as a metaphor for timelessness, perhaps reflecting Jungkook's struggle against the pressure of fame and expectations. The tiger lily, BTS fans learned, is his birth flower, symbolizing confidence, pride, and strength. Meanwhile, the eye design was interpreted as protection, a guardian symbol watching over him. Each tattoo was like a diary entry, written in the language of ink. Artistic evolution. The sleeve takes shape. By 2021, Jungkook's right arm had transformed. His once minimalistic tattoos began merging into a cohesive sleeve design, rich with detail and artistic flow. The bold blacks, fine lines, and shadows created an image of balance, fierce yet graceful. Tattoo artists and fans alike praised the composition. What made Jungkook's tattoo sleeve stand out wasn't just its aesthetic beauty, but how it managed to remain deeply personal while exuding universal symbolism. Observers saw his arm as a reflection of his evolution. The tattoos that once represented youthful rebellion now embodied maturity and self-assurance. Jungkook was no longer just the Golden Magne. He was an artist in every sense. one who had found a way to translate his soul into visuals, cultural significance, and breaking taboos in South Korea. Tattoos have long carried a certain stigma. While attitudes are changing, visible tattoos, especially for public figures, can still be controversial. Jungkook's decision to openly display his tattoos marked a cultural turning point. When he first appeared on TV or magazine covers with his tattoos blurred or covered, many fans felt frustration. They wanted his art to be seen and appreciated. Over time, though, the narrative began to shift. Younger audiences, inspired by Jungkook, started to view tattoos differently, not as marks of rebellion, but as expressions of individuality and freedom. Even some South Korean media outlets began referring to Jungkook's tattoos as modern art on skin. He had unwittingly become an icon of change, reshaping perceptions about beauty, masculinity, and authenticity. As Jungkook's tattoos began to climb upward, moving from his wrist to his forearm and finally toward his shoulder. Fans noticed something fascinating. Each new piece of ink seemed to mirror his inner growth. The once playful hand tattoo that honored ARMY had evolved into an entire narrative, a visual autobiography stretching across his skin. When Jungkook's shoulder tattoo first became visible, it sent waves of excitement through the fandom. The design, bolder and more intricate than before, carried a darker elegance. It seemed to merge mythical imagery with emotion, a statement of confidence and identity. While Jungkook never explicitly explained every detail, ARMYs were quick to find symbolism that resonated deeply with his journey. The shoulder, the seat of strength in body symbolism. The shoulder represents strength, responsibility, and resilience, the parts of the body that carry weight, both literally and metaphorically. For Jungkook, this placement felt almost poetic. Having grown up under the immense pressure of being part of BTS, he had carried not only his personal dreams, but also the hopes of millions around the world. Fans interpreted his shoulder tattoo as a reflection of that burden transformed into beauty, a way of saying that the weight he once carried in silence had now become a badge of pride. The tattoo's bold lines, almost flame-like in form, seemed to burn away the doubts and insecurities that once defined his early years. Jungkook trained in the gym, often spotted wearing sleeveless tops that revealed his tattooed shoulder. Fans couldn't help but notice how the art seemed to move with his body, alive, breathing, and evolving as he did. Symbolism in the design. Observers pointed out several symbolic elements within Jungkook's sleeve and shoulder tattoo. Some noticed patterns resembling wings or flames, both representing transformation, freedom, and power. Others saw abstract shapes that hinted at waves or clouds, symbols of movement, change, and the unpredictability of life. The color palette of pure black ink added depth to the meaning. While color tattoos can be vibrant, black ink carries a timeless power. It's classic, bold, and unyielding, just like Jungkook's artistic spirit. One fan on social media wrote, "His tattoo looks like it's telling a story. The flames, the shadows, they're like parts of his life, the struggles he turned into art." Another commented, "It's not just ink. It's the map of everything he survived." For Jungkook, who has always preferred to let his actions speak louder than his words, these interpretations may not be far from the truth. His tattoos became the silent testimony of his growth, less a decoration, more a declaration, that a mirror of emotional evolution in many ways. Jungkook's tattoo journey paralleled his personal transformation. The young man once known for his shy, boyish demeanor had grown into someone unafraid to show his authentic self, even if it meant defying convention. Fans remember early interviews where Jungkook hesitated to speak up, often deferring to older members. But as time passed, he found his voice, not only in music but in life. His tattoos, expanding and evolving across his skin, mirrored this newfound confidence. By the time BTS released B and later Proof, Jungkook's persona had shifted completely. He was no longer just the youngest member following the group's direction. He was an artist who knew who he was and what he wanted to say. Even his body art evolved in harmony with his music.